let's talk about how to solve three major problems if you're new to journaling, if you're blocked with journaling, if you believe in journaling but can't bring yourself to do it, if whatever is holding you back from journaling. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. I had a conversation with a woman in the community, a really good conversation that helped open my eyes to some struggles that probably she was having, but also, if one person is having it, then there's probably a bunch more people who are having it as well. And that's what I really appreciate about the community, about the communication with you guys, because I get to hopefully learn what's on your mind and see things that I missed. So I'm going to try to speak to this more in the future, what I believe to be the solution to some of these problems. So what are these problems? Well, one, we have things are fine, so why journal, right? You're eating okay, blah, 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 so why journal? It's a pain in the butt to journal before you eat. Two, when a binge does come, when life is stressful and overwhelmed, you forget. Or you just forget even when it's not stressful and overwhelmed. You just forget. And then three, the problem is you remember to journal, but then that voice in your head says, well, just one bite before, or another voice might say, screw it. No, I know I should journal, but no. And how do we solve all these problems in one nutshell? I've been sitting on this answer for a few days, and what's coming up for me, right? If we take this journal, like there are pages in here, right? And it's something tangible. But I think underneath the journal, for me, what I envision and hope eating enlightenment and what I stand for really represents is sort of like an inward lifelong learning, an inward curiosity, an inward looking within in a genuinely curious way, a genuine learning way, like, hey, like, what's going on here? So this is a symbol, this is a tool, but hopefully it represents something like meditation, where you're looking within, but in a curious way. How do you make journaling a win-win for you? How do you make journaling a win no matter what? No matter what. This goes beyond food journaling, in my opinion. This is about journaling as a lifestyle. This is about pausing, not getting bombarded by all the outside stimulus, all the distractions on your phone, etc. This is about kind of pausing, getting grounded, and reflecting, pausing, thinking, feeling, reflecting. What is important to me? How can I learn? How can I bring my best self forward? This is what journaling means to me, right? We have that little guideline with compulsions, journal before you eat, but that's down the line, right? Like, if you're stuck getting started, well, hopefully one thing that you can consider is, like, don't even worry about that guideline about journaling before you eat. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. But can we lean into a stance, an orientation towards life about learning, about pausing to evaluate how we feel so that we can make our decisions based on our values, not someone else's values outside, but learning our own values and living them. Can journaling be a tool that helps us learn, that helps us be more authentic, that helps us, stick to our priorities? Well, when we come at journaling from this perspective, I believe it solves all those problems. In a nutshell, I'm going to keep this video short. This is a nuanced conversation. If you are having troubles getting started with journaling for food, can you start journaling in a way that feels congruent with you? Doesn't have to be food. This one woman shared, she likes, I believe it was planning the day out, the next day ahead, kind of visualizing it almost, getting into a positive mindset. This was at night. So this journaling is helping her think about what's important. It's helping her, get in alignment. It's helping her stay a little bit more grounded the next day. She's making journaling win for her, no matter what. Like who cares if she doesn't do the food guideline thing? Whatever. That's down the line. That's if journaling is connecting with you. That little guideline comes out of this relationship to a journal, this relationship to introspection, to curiosity. For the second problem, you are overwhelmed and you forget to binge, you forget to journal before you binge, right? Well, this journal is not just to be used before a binge, but oftentimes I say it's before because I'm contrasting the whole calorie counting thing. I mean, a lot of weight loss programs, basically they have you record calories throughout the day, etc., etc. That's after you eat. So I usually say before because that's a contrast to the normal way things are doing. But a very important thing that I can mention more is, can we learn from the binge? And this is important, very, very important. The curiosity thing. And listen to my tone of voice as I speak about this. So let's say you binged and you were overwhelmed, you forgot to journal or whatever, you forgot to journal. Can we use the attitude of curiosity and maybe writing down too? Why did I binge? Was there a quiet voice that somehow said no, or that somehow said just try one bite? What was the reward? When did I lose control? What did that feel like? This is very different than the standard attitude people have, which is all this guilt, all this shame. I fucked up again. I'm a fuck up. And then immediately going into restriction. Okay, the next day I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this to make it better, I'm going to do this, I'm going to block that out. There's a lot of times there's a blocking out, there's this guilt and it's really shitty. And people skip the learning. There's no pause. There's no sort of sitting with it. And that sucks, to sit with the guilt and the shame. I get that. But hopefully the journal is more like a curiosity. There's a tone of voice that's very important. I want you to hear. What happened there? There's a kindness. There's an opening. What happened when you binged? What happened? Why did you seek control through food? Why did you seek safety? What was making you feel unsafe? What did that unsafety feel like? What did you really need? Hopefully there's sort of a parsing out that can happen. If you have this attitude of learning, then you can relate to binges differently. And finally, for those subtle voices, the third problem, the voices that kind of you might remember to journal, you might forget about journal, but whatever the case is, there's these voices. Probably the two most common are the rebel, no, I'm not going to journal, fuck you. And then two, just one bite. You deserve a reward, just one bite, and then it kind of spirals. So like, what do those voices sound like? Were those voices there? When the journal, I love dialoguing with voices after the fact, right? Like, sometimes in the middle of this stuff, it's too hard to journal. But can you, after you eat, can you go back to that moment? This is tough. Rewinding time, replaying the movie, right? Seeing time slow down. You got to be able to slow down time. These waves of compulsions, right? You got to be able to slow down time like a surfer. You got to be able to surf those waves. Those waves are built up with these little voices. What do those voices say? And instead of shutting down those voices, right? So let's say a binge happens and you're now reflecting and learning and trying to see the binge as it happened, and you noticed, oh yeah, there was a little voice there. What would you say to the voice? What did the voice sound like? What did the voice need? If you can go back in time and put a picture of you as a kid or as a teenager voicing that, what did that teenager need, or little kid need? So this is how journaling, you make it a win-win-win, right? Like, one, if you are struggling to even start journaling, you just start journaling for you know, planning your day, gratitude, write out your feelings. Just, it doesn't have to be every day. It can just be, an orientation, that's something you believe in, something that you believe what journaling stands for, that journaling and writing is grounding. If we don't get grounded in life in some way, we're just going to be, we're going to be swept up in all the stress that's going on, right? We're not going to be able to live our lives according to our most important values. We're going to be distracted by the things that don't really matter. We're going to get sidetracked. We're going to not really be present or connected. So journaling is a tool to help us get grounded, to discover what is important to us. And can you embrace that? Can you sink your teeth into that? Can you start orienting your life towards that? And maybe journaling, productivity journaling in some way can help you with that. Right? So that's how to get started journaling. It doesn't have to be with food, but it can be anything, right? Just taking that stance that you're going to get grounded, you're going to reflect upon what's important. And then if you are struggling with the forgetting and all this stuff, is can we learn from it? Can we learn from it, right? Can a binge not shut you down? Because oftentimes you're numb, right? You're numb. And you're shut down even when you're binging, you're shut down afterwards, and you're shut down. You're shut down, And so can we go into uncertainty? Can you go into the unknown, right? This is a work, diets make things very easy. Eat this many calories, do this, do that, do that. Everything's going to be fine. This is much more mysterious. This is much more uncertain. This is much more, well, I don't know why I went numb. Why did I go numb? Can you stay with the uncertainty? Can you stay with the uncertainty? Right? Can you kind of embrace the unknown? Can we try to really, even though there aren't any clear answers right away, can we nonetheless try to learn? Can we try to ask gentle, curious questions about the process that led us up to binging, compulsion eating, emotional eating, etc.? When did you get disconnected? So I hope this video provides a few win-win-win type of mentality, so that, even if you do binge, you can still make it a win. You can still learn from it. If you forget, you can learn why you forgot. If that voice gets you, what did the voice say? What did it need? Can we reflect on that? And then if you have trouble getting started, can we just journal anyways? So those are my thoughts. And let me know how you like to journal in the comments down below. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in, and namaste.